everybody. Thank you all
New York
for coming
City.
out.
Thank you for coming and braving your way through the hordes of drunk green people who became Catholic for the day for St. Patrick's Day.
And thank you to everybody who's live streaming, watching us right now from the comfort of your living room. We have a night full of awesome science ahead.
And are you feeling the love? Are you feeling the love, Mitchell?
Well, there's lots of love in here. I feel the love, but there's something I actually really dislike about love.
What's that, Mitchell? What's that?
Well, not about the act itself, but it's the fact that the heart gets all the credit, but the brain actually does all the work.
That's
right?
some truth. That's some truth tea, Mitchell.
So we actually decided to write a song about it to show our frustration.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Science Love Song.
I'll be the spark if you'll be the flame. Start a reaction that can't be contained. Balance your pH by sharing my base. I'll be your star if you'll be my space.
'Cause there's no distance that I couldn't go. Through space-time and wormholes my matter would flow to the edge of the universe.
I'll be your G if you will be C, or I can be A if you will be T. If there's a mutation, I'll fix every base, working as your zinc finger nuclease. Just like an atom, don't rip us apart, unless you want a big boom in my heart. We can take it fast or really slow, but we can't know with certainty where we'll go. If at first we don't succeed, we'll try 2 more times, so our failures are statistically significant. Try. Like an equation, it all works out. If we balance the size, there's no need to doubt. This is your science love song, a place to start our chemical bond, a research endeavor. We can write the conclusion together. Just like a movie, I'd steal your heart, but then you die, so I won't do that.
If we broke up, I'd be no more. I'd give up H2O for H2SO4.
You could take away gravity, and I'd still fall for you. Share my last electron in a covalent bond for 2. Cause you're like that angle, acute and you're smart. Your lab coating goggles go straight to my heart. Except that's a lie, cause the heart doesn't feel. See, this is what we were talking about.
Hashtag truth.
When it comes to love, the brain seals the deal. This is your science love song, a place to start our chemical bond, a research endeavor. Write the conclusion together.
With the correct annotations of bibliography, of course, hello.
'Cause you matter to me.
Thank you. Okay.
Thank you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So, this is when we were going to start a Q&A, and we were going to maybe ask each other questions and answers, but we spend all of our time together, and any question I would have for him, I already know the answer to.
True.
So
We started thinking about like who would be appropriate to ask us questions who A, love science as much as we do, and B, loves us as much as we love us. And it only came down to one person, really. Ladies and gentlemen, Jake Roper of Vsauce 3.
Good to see you. Hello. Hello. Oh, my goodness. Hi, hello. This is wonderful. Hello. Hi. Oh, my goodness. I have AsapSCIENCE's book.
that is so aesthetically pleasing.
It is. It's gorgeous. And did you touch the hardcover?
Yeah, that's
Oh,
wow.
so good.
I'm pretty sure you can get that at AsapScience.com.
Can you?
You can.
Did it just come out?
I think
Today.
it just came out
Today.
today.
That's
exactly.
insane.
Yeah.
And obviously everyone here Loves the book already.
Yeah.
That was enthusiasm. But one thing that you guys do a lot is you ask interesting questions and answer them interestingly as well. But I have some questions I would like to ask you both, if we could.
Sure.
And look, hey, it's perfectly set up just for this.
All right, let's have
Please take a seat.
Thank
I'm going to
you.
cross my legs very slowly
These are-
and look directly at all of you as I do it. Did you feel something? I felt something. Actually, did you know when you're in love, the activity in your brain is similar to when you're on cocaine?
Yeah?
I learned that in the ASAP science.
Yeah,
You like that? Yeah, a little plug right there.
Natural drugs.
Oh, wow.
I know they're
Cool
fancy.
card.
And they even make ones that have the YouTube symbol on them. Good job, YouTube. Woo, spending your money wisely. So first, Mitch, Greg, why did you decide to start ASAP Science? And when did you realize it would need to be a full-time job?
Well, like many people after university, we were a little lost and we didn't really know what we were going to do. I went off to teachers college, so I learned a lot about how young people were learning from YouTube. Whenever I put YouTube on in the classroom is when the kids would actually stop talking and listen. So that got me thinking about it.
Yeah, and I had met some YouTubers who were doing videos and had amazing content and were building these audiences, and that's when we first sort of learned about what YouTubing was, to be honest. I think about 2.5 years ago when we started the channel, we didn't really have that concept, but we started realizing, hey, maybe instead of just forcing our family and friends to always listen to us, we could force other people to listen to us instead, and it just kind of rolled out from there.
Yeah, and we decided we would do one video a week for a year and see what happens as a pet project, and now we have a book.
And then what was the first video that really kind of blew up?
It makes sense. It was the scientific hangover cure, so it was very applicable to many
Yeah,
people.
applicable to today, especially tomorrow morning, right?
Yeah, tomorrow you can watch it.
Yeah, you can rewatch it and find out.
And that's when
We
we
need to schedule
figured
that.
it out, but we realized that the video spread like a virus, and we were
Yeah.
like, viral, okay.
You're just
we get it.
constantly watching, refreshing to see the
Yeah,
view
exactly.
count.
Yeah.
What's happening?
I was actually on the way to Greg's house driving, I think, and had gotten hundreds of emails that new subscribers, and I was like, oh my god, it broke. YouTube broke. I don't understand what just happened. And then realized oh my gosh, this video has been shared so many different places. And I think that was the first instance where we understood, how far the videos could reach beyond my mom and grandma.
Very nice. And then this question actually comes from somebody maybe here named Danny. I don't know.
You're with us in spirit, Danny.
Thank you, Danny. But Danny asks, what kind of challenges, if any, did you go through to get where you are now?
Well, one challenge that we have right now is that working on the internet, it never stops. So we're having a tough time balancing life and work. So it's something that we love to do, and so we so often are involved, hooked onto the internet. So that's one thing that is sort of a challenge, trying to figure out, when do we stop refreshing the page and sort of think, okay, I should look at this tree because it's pretty. So that's one part.
Yeah, I'd say just building the channel and starting to understand the best way to make these videos. The biggest challenge was learning how people learn, and I think but it was an amazing experiment for us to start from ground zero and not really be sure where it was going, and then see how some videos did better than the others, and understand how the best thumbnail works or the best title works or whatever. And from there, just having that learning experience the whole way has always been a challenge, but an exciting challenge.
And then you guys are pretty consistent with doing a video every week. Has that been challenging, keeping up with that?
Yeah, well, a lot of YouTubers do have a day that they come out, and so our first time we were like, we're going to do them every Wednesday, and then that Wednesday we were like, jokes!
We need more
Thursday.
time!
Yeah, so we scratched that, but that
Yeah.
is a really good practice if you want to be a YouTuber, but we don't follow it. But we do make weekly videos, sometimes a week and a half.
Yeah, it's week-ish, every weekly video.
Weekish videos.
Well, quality over quantity, right?
Exactly.
Come on.
I
And this
agree.
is from Mario. Is there a Mario here?
All right.
Hey, Mario! How you doing? Looking good. Okay. What is the most amazing experience you have had due to your YouTube success?
Well, we kind of had a joke when we started that, I remember we were in a backyard with our little, notebook as you do, being like, I'm going to do something with my life. And we said, it'd be so cool if one day we worked with Bill Nye, and then it happened, kind of early on.
Yeah, it was a joke that it was the goal of the channel. We're once we do that, we're done. That's all we need to do. And then maybe, I don't know how far into it, but one day we got called from his
He approached
people.
us, which was so
It was
weird.
interesting. Yeah, and then we were just like, wow, life is complete. We're done. But no, things went on, but that was like surreal for us to think that it could go from like, no subscribers, no one having watched the videos to like Bill and I being in one.
But the book and this is pretty cool. Like this is the most sort of amazing. We don't leave our house. So.
Yeah, it's like this is the first time we've seen so many people in a long time.
Yeah.
Saw sunlight for the first time.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It was great.
Yeah, that's good. Then this one is from Jill. I mean, there might be multiple Jills. Let's just do it for Jill. Jill!
Yeah!
Yeah, Jill! Jill asks, what was the most shocking thing you learned while researching the book?
Well, one thing that I personally learned, though that probably wasn't about the actual research of it, was that drawing for a video, which is really kinetic, is much different than drawing for a book. So I was kind of like, oh, this will be easy. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh my god, this is so different. So that was the most shocking challenge for me.
Yeah, going from like vertical to suddenly horizontal pages and not being able to use movement, it was definitely like an interesting challenge. A creative challenge for us that we were like excited to tackle, but it was definitely hard.
Yeah, we did like the whole design aspect of it was something that was brand new to us and it threw us a loop. But we love it and it worked out, but it was challenging.
It also must be kind of a different dynamic because generally you're making a video every week. And with this book, it's not like you write it and then it doesn't come out immediately.
That's true.
A while.
This is good.
We won't find out till now. But yeah, it's exciting though because there were so many questions. Because we only do one video a week, because the production of the videos can take so long.
Yeah.
We have like thousands of questions people have asked that we've like saved up our favorites and take from those every now and then, or like most of the time rather, for the videos. So this was an opportunity to like answer even more of those in the book form all at once, which is really exciting for us.
So a lot of the video ideas come from like fans and viewers and stuff?
Yeah,
From these folks
essentially.
right here?
Yeah, exactly. Like pretty much every episode we do has come from some sort of suggestion, whether or not it's like what got our brain rolling. Some are immediately just like, oh, that's it, done, thanks, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, like, I mean, we wouldn't be able to do it because week after week we kind of have to go back to the drawing board, and so we need to take some
inspiration.
Yeah.
And the whole point is to find like what is interesting to other people. Like we only represent ourselves, and so it's great to kind of get a sense of what does the world want to know, and how can we accommodate all these different styles of learning and interests and whatnot. And so it's essential for us to sort of hear from everyone out in the world.
Very nice. Now we're going to move to Twitter.
Okay.
Which is funny because it's like a Twitter, then I had to physically write it on a piece of paper, which I thought was interesting. So Alchemy543 asks.
Nice name, bro.
Woo! Alchemy543! Let's give it up to that human being. Who were your biggest influences in science?
So Bill and I was one, which is crazy.
Yeah, for sure, as a young age. Definitely, we always talk about, like, we both had great high school biology teachers, and I think that was kind of like the starting point for us, and probably for many people to be interested in science. And that's why we talk about now, like, not everyone is always as lucky to get, like, an amazing teacher in any subject to inspire you, and so that's why online is also so amazing, because you can find so many different types of people, whether it's AsapSCIENCE or whether it's Vsauce. You can find the types of channels that you love that you connect with that can inspire you to then want to actually go and learn more, so.
And we also love Bjork because she mixes science and art really well. So
Yeah, Bjork is like our idol, where it's like a perfect mix of art and science.
Yeah.
Well, don't you have Bjork? Oh, what was it? She did like some amazing music video that you showed. Remember, like in Toronto?
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, that was
that was
crazy. It's all about
beautiful.
zooming into the cell and her face.
Oh, my goodness.
appears. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah,
You should
she's
all watch
amazing.
it.
Yeah, every
go
Bjork
watch
video.
it.
On
Every
YouTube.
Bjork.
.com.
And there's a thing at MoMA. Yeah.
MoMA, yes, the Museum of Modern Art. This is a fun place. Now, Sam, is there a Sam? Multiple Sams? How many Sams are there?
There's got to be at least a Sam. Yeah.
Yeah! Woo! Sam! Or Samantha, or Sammy, however you want to go.
Yeah.
Which of science's weird mysteries would you like to know the answer to?
Woo, tough questions, Jake.
Yeah, well, Sam.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, Sam.
I would love to know what happens when we die.
That's true.
something
That's definitely one of those questions that's like, how do you test that? Like, Greg, how was dying? Can,
Yeah.
can we quantify that?
I think it's an amazing part of life, but it's something that obviously.
Yeah, it's definitely like maybe perhaps one of the biggest questions.
But one thing I've heard about is that people have done research where they're actually thinking about how they can actually like use a specific laser on your skin and like get enough information to find out like when biologically you would die, which I would never want to know. But I've been hearing
that's
that's the type of
scary.
research.
that's
Yeah, I know. They'd be like 4 years, Jake. And you'd be like, oh my god, yeah. These are unhealthy.
How dare you, sir? Have you seen this temple? I think maybe it'd be worse, instead of telling you like a general years, like, oh, you have 10 more years, just say like, oh, you're going to die in a car accident. Like, I'm never getting in a car ever.
Yeah.
But then it's like some of those weird things where it's like, could it be getting in a car, being hit by a car?
Yeah,
Then you just don't go outside.
Yeah, you just don't never leave.
Then
Kinda
flying
like you guys,
cars?
yeah, then we just never leave.
Yeah, we're good at that, yeah.
We were told that. That's why we never leave our house.
Fair enough. And now there's another one from Vanessa. Yay! There's a Vanessa. Hopefully it's the same Vanessa. What do you think the most important cause is in the world that needs science?
That's a good one.
And I think you need science. I feel like you say it really sassy. Like,
Well,
girl, you need science.
One thing that I think is a huge issue is water and water accessibility. And I think that's something where I think technology and science is going to be extremely important for ensuring that people around the world can get it. And Canada doesn't hug it all. So I think that's something that's important.
I think certainly just the idea of exploration of space and making sure that we are adequately funding areas of science that are only going to further like our understanding of the world and hopefully lead to better understanding of how we can conserve water or technologies that will preserve it. I think that's probably like the fundamental aspect is having people understand the importance of research and just science in general is like key to all of the things that matter.
Yeah, well, luckily, I mean, you guys are kind of doing that, right, with YouTube?
Well, yeah, and you too. Yeah, I think science is becoming very popular in pop culture, and that is really important.
Yeah, I mean, that is an interesting thing. A quick little side note, sorry, tangents. I go on tangents. Is that science is kind of cool now. Like, it's cool to be curious, because everyone just is inherently curious. We just want to find out the answers to interesting questions. And it's interesting to see that kind of be revitalized in people.
Yeah, I agree. Like, we do sometimes wonder if we're biased because we are so obsessed with science and talk about it all the time, but we do see it a lot. We realize that, science is becoming really popular for a lot of young people who watch our videos. I mean, they're taking their free time watching it and falling in love with this science and curiosity. So I do think there is something there. And the dress was an example for us of when that kind of
Oh, yeah.
The dress. What color did you see? Black and blue.
Yeah.
Is it? We'll just say it real quick. Well, show of hands. Was it black or blue or white and gold in your white and gold? Do we see white and gold? No. Oh, it's okay. You're still brave. You're very brave. You white and gold.
Yeah. Few and far between.
But yeah, that was an interesting experience to understand how you can connect with people. Like a pop culture thing can be a science thing. And I mean, we like to call our channel sometimes like the gateway drug to science. And so finding those elements of like that pop culture element that gets the whole world interested and then using science as a way to explain those things and get them interested more into science is like important to us.
Yeah, like when that happened, we were like, this is it, Mitch. This is our calling. Like Demi Lovato was like, explain the science. I was like, let's do this. We drank some coffee and we did it.
Yeah, that was an all-nighter. Like you stayed
It was an all-nighter, yeah. There was the moment where we had been like on the couch. We both saw Blue and Black. And we're like, this is just a prank. Like, this is so weird. This is not true. And then our roommate came home and she saw Black and Blue, but then later came up and she was like, oh, there's two pictures. This one's white and gold. And we were like, you've gone to the dark side. Like, that is Black and Blue. And so then we were like, okay, this is crazy. We have to do something on this. So.
Well, I was glad you guys did, because I was one of those people who went into Photoshop and like got the color picker.
Yeah.
And I was like, everyone, no, you're wrong. Look. Like, well, it's just a weird hue. And like, no. And also, that's how all my friends talk. Oh, hello. Hey there. Anyway, sorry, we have questions. There's questions. Where are you? There. The camera that's on. This one's from Adam. Is there an Adam in the room? Multiple Adams. Well, Adam, if you're watching this at home, my heart broke. My heart broke, Adam. Wait, did you hear it? I did. It's sad. Well, Adam asks, what is one piece of advice you'd give to aspiring YouTubers that you wish you knew when you started?
Well, one thing that we say a lot, and we think we're like Nike got it right, which is just do it. And so we feel like that's the thing, and a lot of people who they ask us for advice, it's like you just have to make YouTube content and consistently do it, and don't give up when maybe it is just your friends and family watching, and make sure you're making good content that you're passionate about, and like things will fall into place. So
yeah, I think the biggest barrier is like fear of not like being perfect or having. If you go back and watch our first video, we cringe whenever we look at those original videos. But at the time, we were like really proud of them. But if we had waited to be like perfect, we never would have really started. And so it's just do it. Just put it out there. You learn from every single video you put out there. You grow, you evolve over time, and that's like the best advice.
Like watch they're so bad. I would use brown for like everything, and everything like the brains just look like poo and everything.
And then with the drawing part, what kind of incentivized that? What made you want to use that format as a way to get science across?
Well, we knew we wanted the science to come first, and we wanted it to see. We know that science can be really intimidating for people, and so we tried to eliminate that by being like, "Oh, look, it's a cartoon," but we're actually going to explain some complex pathways. So it's kind of like tricking people. That was the original thought.
Yeah, and it even sort of strips, like, for us, it was like, how do we make these videos just about, you know, this topic, just about the science of love, or just about how much sleep you needed? So in that sense, by sort of taking ourselves out of the videos, we thought, you know, when people see these, they know it, like, there's nothing else to it, it's just answering this question.
Yeah.
And so that was where it started from.
But I like that, using the drawings as a way to get people in. It's like accidental learning.
Yeah,
Yeah,
The
exactly.
term I like
Yeah.
to use.
Hide
Like, oh no,
the-
I accidentally learned something. That's being sad now from learning. One last question. And this is another one from Twitter. It's from, Vsauce3. That's really weird.
Who that?
I don't know, but everyone should go subscribe. You've been doing YouTube for almost 3 years now.
Yeah.
You have a book. What else do you want to accomplish? Where does ASAP Science go from here?
Well, we want to keep going. As we've said, we're really interested in trying to get science and pop culture to mix, so we want to think about that. So we've started a second channel, ASAP Thought, where we actually talk more about pop culture and social justice and other things that we're interested in. Because we like things outside of science. We started vlogging our lives, so you can now watch all of our lives if you want.
Yeah, for us, it's just like bigger and better questions. Like, what else are people curious about? What are new ways that we can get people to learn? So maybe that steps outside of the whiteboard and goes into something else that's a little bit more in depth for people. Yeah, it's just constantly brainstorming on like what connects with someone. How can we give you guys an experience to make you curious in that moment?
And thankfully, science is about evolution and innovation, so innately we have to keep evolving. And then
Perfect.
well, the
Well,
thing is innovating.
if we could, I'd like to do something now.
Okay.
And I think we'd all would like this. They've all been thinking it. They just haven't said it because you're very polite. Thank you. Which is, since we have the book here, could you read a part of it, and then could you draw it while he reads it? We actually we have a whiteboard over there. If we could do that.
So usually I can like edit this, but we
My
will see.
particular favorite is selfie science.
Oh,
I would
yeah,
like to know
it would
about-
be your
so,
favorite,
I know, I'm
too.
very. I know,
Okay,
I'm horrible.
okay, we can do this. Greg, are you okay? You
This
can
is
do
like my version of a marathon film.
Okay. All right, yeah, okay, so Jake's inspired selfie science. Actually, I should get my ASAP Science voice on. How do I get the
Selfie
voice?
science. Okay.
It's got a burning question? Ask it in the comments or on Facebook and Twitter. Okay, there it is. All right, selfie science. Why do we hate photos of ourselves? How's it going? You're ready for a big night out and take one last look in the mirror before you go. Wow, you're looking great tonight. You're looking great, Greg.
Oh, thanks.
With all the confidence in the world, you strut your stuff and make sure to take tons of photos through the night. Selfies galore. But wait, you hate how you look in photos and feel completely unphotogenic. So how come you never really feel that way looking in a mirror? Why is it that so many people hate seeing photos of themselves but usually have no problems with their image in a mirror? Whoa, you did that. Okay.
That's like a, like a selfie.
All right, part one. All right, let's keep going. There are a few factors at play with this phenomenon, but the mirror exposure effect may be the biggest.
Okay, so I can't write. Like, my writing is illegible, and mirror exposure effect is an important part of this.
It
So I
is.
want you to write it because you do the writing.
Okay, all right, we can swap.
As a teacher, it's like I'm supposed to not
Yeah,
have to
you
write
should be able to write, Greg.
I can read, I just can't write.
Okay, I'll write that over.
Also, I used to narrate the videos, but then everyone said I sounded like the honey badger, so then I stopped. So, thanks, cyberbullying. Okay. No, I'm fine. It's okay. I know what I sound like. So, on the audiobook, I read too, so you should get it. Okay. So, there are a few factors at play with this phenomenon, but the mirror exposure effect may be the biggest. Simply put, we all have a tendency to prefer familiar things.
Ta-da!
Look at that. I could never have written like that.
It's okay. All right, continuing on. After repeated exposure to anything, you will psychologically prefer it over a version that you have seen less often. As crazy as it may seem, this has been tested with words, paintings, sounds, pictures, geometric figures, and even structures. Like the Eiffel Tower, is that what that is?
Yes.
Okay. All right, close enough. Or like Mona Lisa, for example, which is the photo in here. We're all super familiar with that photo, and we tend to prefer it over like the thousands of other photos in the Louvre because we've seen it so often. This phenomenon has even been observed in other species. From monkeys to chickens, many organisms have been documented to react fondly to a repeated stimulus. Got the chicken. Oh, that's from the chicken and the egg.
Yeah, like it's a really big chicken.
And it just so happens that the version of yourself that you see most often is your mirror or reflected image. Every time you stare in a mirror or a window, which I know you all do, the view is flipped from left to right. If your reflection in the mirror were actually somebody you were looking at, his or her hair would swoop the opposite way. When you raised your right hand, he or she would raise their left hand, and even that annoying pimple you have would be on the opposite side of their face. Chicken's got pimples. Okay. But a photograph is, oh, this is a big butt, but, okay, not actually a butt, Greg.
And it's going to fart. Like,
Had to stick that in. All right. But a photograph is not your reflected image. In fact, your photo image is the way everybody else sees you on a daily basis. Your brain, however, isn't familiar with this view of you and might interpret it as off. In studies of this phenomenon, participants prefer facial photographs of their mirror image to the photo image without knowing which was which. Their friends, however, rated their photo image as preferable. So if your acquaintances and loved ones suddenly saw your mirrored self, they would find it slightly off. How's it going, Greg?
That's supposed to be a brain.
All right, we're almost there, we're almost there. Add to this the fact that you can adjust your position, hair, smile in front of the mirror, and that photographs can capture angles that you can't see in the reflection, and you've got a good case against your photo image. But just know that there's nothing to worry about. The photo version of you looks great to everybody else. Ta-da! All right, good job, Greg. Give it up for that. On the spot.
And you.
Right.
So, in this vein of selfies, we thought we're going to take a selfie right now. We're going to use the hashtag AsapLive. And if you're at home watching, take a selfie of yourself watching.
Tweet it to us, and we'll share it. Okay,
yeah.
everyone say cheese. Okay, now one with this side. Cheese. Over here, right? Cheese. Okay. All right, sweet. Okay, cool. Well, now we actually wanted to introduce another special guest.
Yeah, so another person is here who we love and is near and dear to our hearts. She's a science communicator, and she has a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com/braincraft. Check it out. It's super crafty and artsy. And yeah, so
her name is
here.
Vanessa Hill. Thank you for coming.
Science love. Okay, so why don't you tell us something interesting?
I would love to. I'm so excited about your book,
Oh,
actually.
thank
I don't know why we're still hugging. This is a little bit now.
And I love when you say book.
Yeah, we're together now. Yeah.
All right, well, we'll let you go. You tell us why science is awesome.
I love lots of things about science. I'm sure all of you guys do as well. But something that I love is that science gives us a different idea about the things that we know best, like yourselves, or our brains, or even pizza. Yes, pizza. Okay, so pizza is a super addictive food. If you think about things like the sugar in the tomato sauce, the carbohydrates in the crust, there's another little thing, a chemical called casein, that's in the cheese. When you eat those, all of those things together activate your dopamine receptors, which are linked to addiction. So it feeds into your reward system. I feel like I'm a pizza evangelist. So pizza aside, you guys probably remember science from learning the periodic table in high school, learning all of those elements. I know that I had to do that. We had to recite them to our science teacher. Well, since then, I think that science has gotten a lot cooler, and so has the periodic table. So for the final time tonight, here are Mitch and Greg with the periodic table song.
I mean, really, who hasn't wanted to learn the periodic table song by heart, right? You all know it, right?
Exactly.
You can sing along.
There's hydrogen and helium and lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon everywhere, nitrogen all through the air. With oxygen so you can breathe, and fluorine for your pretty teeth, neon to light up the sign, sodium for salty times, magnesium, aluminium, silicon, phosphorus, then sulfur, chlorine, and argon, potassium and calcium so you'll grow strong, scandium, titanium, vanadium, and chromium, and manganese. This is the periodic table, noble gases stable, halogens and alkali react aggressively. Each period will see new outer shells while the electrons are added, moving to the right.
Iron is the 26th, then cobalt, nickel coins you get, copper, zinc, and gallium, germanium, and arsenic. Selenium and bromine, film while krypton helps light up your room, rubidium, then strontium, then yttrium, zirconium, niobium, molybdenum, technetium, ruthenium, rhodium, palladium, silverware, then cadmium and indium, tin cans, antimony, and tellurium, and iodine, and xenon, and then cesium, and barium is 56, and this is where the table splits. Okay. Where lanthanides have just begun. Lanthanum, cerium, and praseodymium. Neodymium's next to promethium, then 62s. Samarium, europium, gadolinium, and terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, terbium, lutetium, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, and we're on to rhenium, osmium, and iridium, platinum, gold to make you rich till you grow old, mercury to tell you when it's really cold, thallium, and lead, bismuth for your tummy, polonium, acetine, and niobium, radon, francium, will last a little time, radium, and actinides at 89. This is the periodic table, noble gases stable, halogens and alkali react aggressively. Each period will see new outer shells while the electrons are to the right. Actinium, thorium, protactinium, uranium, neptunium, plutonium. Americium, curium, berkelium, californium, einsteinium, fermium, mendelevium, nobelium, lawrencium, rutherfordium, dubnium, zirconium, barium, mycelium, and magnesium, neptunium, arcanium, copernicium, ununtrium, flerovium, unapentium, livermorium, unanseptium, ununoctium, and then we're done. Thank you! Thank you guys so much.
Thank you everyone for coming. You can get the book at AsapSCIENCE.com/book. Everyone here is getting a book. And if you're in New York City, we're doing a signing on Thursday at Barnes & Noble. So come get your book signed on Thursday at Barnes & Noble. And yeah, thank you. Thank you.